Welcome to Your Time to Thrive with personal fitness coach Jason Stevenson.
Hi, friends. Happy Wednesday. Welcome to the podcast. This is Your Time to Thrive. I'm your host, Jason, and we're here talking to you about all things related to your health and fitness. Today, I'm joined by my amazing friend and business associate, since I can't say partner, producer, and confidant, Benjamin Barber. There you go.
Hey, buddy.
I gotta say, man, when I watch that intro, it just makes me laugh every time when I see myself drop a scale in the trash can.
I know.
I love it.
Also, it makes me laugh because you definitely picked that scale back up and put it back where it belonged. So some poor innocent toes have been stepping on a garbage scale for like a year and a half.
So for sure, right? Like there's nothing wrong with weighing yourself. And that was like the whole point of that little piece that we did on the scale part, right? But how many people obsess over that scale? How many people stress over the scale?
Yeah. It's crazy. And so many people have asked me in the last few months, like since I've been walking and being open about some certain stuff, like a lot of people have asked me like, so how much have you lost and whatever. And I'm like, I don't know. I don't like, I should be paying attention to this and keeping better track of this and whatever. But like, honestly, I'm just like, I'm doing it to do it. And like, that's the goal. But so there is like merit in tracking and knowing all of that context about everything. But like, you know, do I feel good? Like, can I go for a 30-minute brisk walk and have my heart rate be in the cardio zone for the entire time and like come back and feel good for the rest of the day? Like, you know, is my mood improving? Is my quality of life improving? Like, those are the questions, right?
Yeah. It sounds like you've been listening to some good coaches there, man.
I've never talked to a single one in my entire life.
You know, those pieces that you're talking about are the God, you just make my day when you say stuff like that, because the truth is those are the reasons that we are working out, right? Like, I'm not going to say should, I'm not going to say that it's required, you know, but we get so stuck on these goal-oriented workouts. Like, I actually read this quote the other day about, and I'm not going to quote it directly because I'm going to screw it up, but basically he said, working out to burn a specific number of calories is like reading a book to learn a specific sentence. Right? Like, I loved it because like what you just said, yeah, I might have lost some weight, but that was one piece of the whole experience. And so many other benefits that you just listed are not measured by something finite as a scale. Right? Like, how much better do you feel generally? Just like overall, scale of 1 to 10, or just however, like graded, or just I feel great comparatively. Like, overall, given the experience of walking regularly, how do you feel?
My knee hurts and my hip hurts a little bit. No, amazing.
Wise ass.
My knee actually did hurt a little bit for the first time on the walk back up the big hill this morning, but it was fine by the end. Yeah, no, I feel great. I feel energized. I feel like I've accomplished something in the morning. You know, like the self-esteem has gone up, the self-worth has gone up, the energy to be able to, and the confidence to be able to go play with the kid has gone up. The attention and focus has gone up. The anxiety has gone way down. Stuff like that, like
Huge.
yeah, it's immeasurable how vastly improved everything is.
I appreciate the fact that you're specific about that, because that's exactly the point that I was looking for. It's immeasurable. Folks, listen, there's nothing wrong with having a weight loss goal. There's nothing wrong with having a distance goal. There's nothing wrong with improving your strength in measurable ways. And those are good goals to have. They really are. They'll keep you focused. They'll keep you moving. But what Ben just listed are the exact reasons that exercise is good for you and you should be doing it on a regular basis. Not because there are measurable, finite, I achieved this goal. Not because there's a measurable, specific amount of weight that will then calculate to feeling better, which is what I always say to people. Because somebody comes to me and says, I'm going to start training with you. I want to lose 30 pounds. And I say, that's great. We'll get you there. That's not a problem. We can probably figure that out together, but it's going to take some time. Now, remember, though, that it's not the specific weight that matters. Because if a year down the road, you try on a pair of jeans you haven't worn in 5 years and you rock them and you feel amazing and you go out and you have a great night with your partner and you go dancing and you feel awesome because you have the energy and the effort is nothing for you to do that all night long. And you come home and you sleep really good and you ate really well and you made good choices, but you still had a good time. You're going to feel amazing, and it will have nothing to do with the weight on the scale. It will have nothing to do with the specific number that you weighed that day when you put those jeans on.
Yeah.
The whole point is you don't get up every day and go, well, hot damn, I got to burn 200 calories today on my walk so that I get 1 pound of weight off this week. Right? That's not the point.
Yeah, I have no idea. According to my Fitbit, though, I've burned 2,212 calories so far today.
That's a lot, dude. For the day. So that's basal metabolic rate. That's just you functioning for the day, plus the exercise.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how you bumped it up.
Yeah.
Nice. Really good.
It's, yeah. Let's see. I've walked almost 2 miles, 19 minutes in the fat burning zone, 4,000 steps. Current heart rate is 77. I need to stop looking at that all the time. And yeah.
Well, let's touch on that, because that's what our topic is today. Fear of the unknown, fear as the acronym, which is actually where this came from today, because I love the fact that if you punch in acronyms for fear, it comes up with this gargantuan list of things that fear can stand for you. I have found in my experience that it is a subjective response to normal life, right? We're all dealing with a new fear right now. The unknown, the pandemic caused us to have fear of hugging people, fear of being near people. How many of us have actually been in a social setting where you're either like at the grocery store or you're checking out at the bank or something, and somebody's standing a little closer than 6 feet, and you start to notice it. Like you notice it, like you can feel it. You're like, they're too close. They're not, folks. It's okay. But have you done that yet? I know you've been really careful about being out, but have you been somewhere yet where somebody was just doing their normal thing, like they're in the checkout aisle or something, and you realize that you're like, they're closer than 6 feet? Like, have you noticed that yet? Or was that something you didn't get a lot of by being in?
So I've gotten a lot of it. When I would do like the drive-in last summer, it would be people would come over to talk to me, and I would literally turn my back on them. I would just be like, I can hear. I would literally go like, I can hear you. You can you don't need to be this close to me. I'm not the person. I'm the videographer. I'm not the person to tell you where the concessions are, buddy. Like, it's that way. Come on, you don't need to.
The way you
Nobody
came.
needs to come. No one needs to come talk to me. No one. I'm like, I've literally been like, can I build a fence around myself? And yeah, no, I am horrible with that.
Which
I've sent texts like, hey, get these people away from me. Yeah, for real. I have, and it's terrible. I love people in general, but yes, no. At any point, I'm like, get everyone away from me, please.
Ben, we're gonna make you a stick that's got a hand at the end of it.
Yeah,
just hold it out. This is my distance. This is safe distance.
yeah. I would love for, and what I've learned about myself now is that even post pandemic, I would like for that to continue. I I don't think that there's a necessity for these people to be that close to me.
Can I just say I can't wait to see you and give you a hug.
That's okay.
I'm going to give you such a big hug when I see you.
That's fine. But other people, there's no reason to, and I'm an extremely friendly person
Yeah,
in normal life, in a normal situation. But you don't need to like ask a question right here.
No.
That's not a necessity. You don't have to be in my personal space. Person I've never met before.
No, I think I feel like this is a good step for everybody to just consciously spend some mental time dealing with and addressing, because we all have fears, right? We all have fears, and we were just taught to be afraid of basically everybody and everything this last year, and that's not healthy. Ben falls backwards. That's not healthy, right? Like, being afraid of things is not a good thing, but we need to learn a balance between being afraid of everybody and everything and having absolutely no fear, because a healthy amount of fear will save your life, will keep you safe, will keep you in social settings where you don't feel awkward.
I'm a little fearful right now about how windy it is out here. Because
we're supposed to get some storms today.
Are we really?
Aren't we?
Great.
I don't know.
Fun. I was like, I'm gonna go outside for this. I'm gonna enjoy this. And now my computer, my brand new computer, I love you so much, has almost fallen onto cement twice, and I'm very scared by that. Yeah. So, but I don't want to go inside because it's nice out, and
it's beautiful out.
I mean, I'm not gonna. I have other stuff to do after this that I have to be inside for, and I don't want to. Also, I need a new lawn person. I think our lawn person hasn't come in a couple weeks, and it's terrible. Like,
hey,
it's very high. I can't go.
If you don't know a guy, you haven't been here long enough.
I mean, I do know a guy. I don't know what's happened. Anyway,
if you don't, I can help. I know a guy.
All right. We don't even have a lawnmower at this place, so we can't do it
yourself.
Yeah. There just wasn't there wasn't one here, and we didn't have the necessity to buy one because the other place was a mess. Oh, this is not something that we need to be talking about on here.
Yes,
these aren't. I know you would like them to be, but these aren't 4-hour shows like Joe Rogan.
I don't know if we could do 4 hours.
I think we could do a solid 2.5.
Probably.
Solid 2.5.
If we both allowed each other to ramble a little bit more, we probably could. But anyway, let's bring it back here. So back to center on fear. It's addressing. There's a couple pieces here because there's all these acronyms. We put meaning behind words because it helps us understand them and label them for ourselves. But the truth is, you decide that label. So we're going to break it down real simple here. I'm just going to give you the two of my favorites. And the first one is forget everything and run, or F everything and run, right? Or face everything and rise. So given the alternatives, because for me, it's about flipping the coin. There is polarity in the universe. There's always this dichotomy. We know the yin and the yang. We know that there's balance in the universe. There's balance in life. That's why there's black and white. But there's always the opposite, right? And if you find that your natural instinct, your response to things is fear-based, and it's to push back or to be afraid or to find that negative side of it, then it's probably trying to teach you something. There's a learning opportunity here. And I don't mean that if you are afraid of a live tiger outside of its cage, that you need to stand your ground necessarily. That's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about real life scenarios, right? Like there's some reality to situations that come up that, yeah, save your ass and run. But in our normal context of day-to-day living, there's a lot of people right now that have a fear of going back to gyms, that have a fear of being in an environment, an enclosed environment with lots of people sweating and breathing hard. And I feel like that's a huge missed opportunity, because let's be frank here, folks, a lot of our world converted to online and to virtual. You don't have to go back to a gym. You don't. I think you should to some degree, even if it's just for parts of your training program, for the motivation. There's certainly that everybody else is sweating and working hard, I might as well work hard too kind of thing from being in the space. If you've walked into a gym and everybody's moving and exercising and you haven't felt like moving, then maybe that's not the space for you. But I find it hard to walk into a space where everybody is exercising and there's good music and there's, that people are exercising, and to think, oh, I'll just stand here, or I won't work hard. I find that piece is motivating for a lot of people, but we need to address that. Like, is your fear rational or is it irrational? Is the space that you're using professionally being cleaned and taken care of, and you feel health-wise safe to be there? Are there people that are being respectful and cleaning stuff around you, and that they've used? Is the staff attentive, and are they cleaning things? Then you have no rational fear of getting sick there. You can wear a mask still if you want to in the space, or you can keep yourself distant from people in the space, or choose times to work out when it's not that busy, where you're not standing next to people running on the treadmill, exhaling hard. Or figure out where you feel safe. Maybe I work out outside. Maybe I work out at my home from now on. There's no reason to change your fitness routine based on a rational versus irrational fear of the specific space that you're utilizing. But you got to figure that out, right? The breakdown for me has always been the life-threatening one, because our auto response to things, and we talked about this before with Lori, when we had Lori on, about fear and how you can make a real quick discernment, like, how am I going to manage this situation? And the first question is my life in danger? Right? Because if I'm afraid, then there's something wrong. There's something potentially wrong, or there's something currently wrong. And the first question is my life in danger? And if it's not in danger, then the first thing you need to do is take 3 deep breaths. Because if your life is in danger, don't think about it, just fucking run. Stop trying to breathe, stop trying to debate and think about what you're going to do. Just run. But if your life is not in danger, then you need to tell your system that you're not in danger, and you need to take 3 deep breaths. So then you can then get all of the hormones that have just flooded your system in response to fear to calm down and come through your bloodstream and settle. Get your breathing to settle. Get some oxygen in your brain. Get some oxygen in your blood system, so that you're not spiking your adrenaline and making more fear, right? We can create a situation. Well, we can take a situation and make it worse by creating thoughts that create more of the situation. We just magnify it. If it's not life-threatening, then you need to put some reality behind it, right? Like, what is this? I'm afraid of this. I'm afraid of going back into a space, or I'm afraid of being judged when I go back to that space because I haven't been working out. That's the other fear that I hear people saying, I'm in such terrible shape. I ate so much. I didn't exercise for the last year. I'm just going to be embarrassed and everybody's going to look at me. Totally rational. That's real. That's real. Those are realities. But here's the reality behind that. the average person gained weight this last year. The average weight gain over the country is 15 pounds per person. That's a lot of weight for somebody to put on in a year. And if that's the case, then you're not alone. My favorite example for people that are afraid of that, because I've been training people in gyms for years, and it comes up all the time. You know, I feel insecure because I'm in front of people like this, or I don't want to take a class. I'll be in front of people. And we are judging people, you know, like people tend to look and judge. But I have never failed to have this test done in a gym setting. When somebody says that to me, I'll stop them. I'll say, okay, so just stop, take a deep breath, and look around the gym. Look around. Who's watching? Not one time have I ever done that in the 15 years that I've been training in large spaces. Has anybody ever come back and said, oh, I saw all those people looking at me? They always come back and they say, oh yeah, they're not looking at me. Because I don't know about you, and I'm a people watcher. When I'm working out, the last thing I'm doing is checking somebody else out. Seriously, the last thing I'm doing. And it's my job to watch people work out. 99% of the time that I'm working out, I'm working on breathing. I'm working on my form. I'm working on what I'm doing next. I'm working on my water. You know, there's all these pieces and facets of your routine that you're supposed to be paying attention to. And frankly, if you have enough energy and time to look around the gym while you're working out, you're not working out hard enough.
And the only people that you look at in the gym that you think about are people that are aspirational for you, right? Like when we look around at the gym, we're not. If you're at the gym and you're there to, I mean, like, you know, this isn't a hard and fast rule for everybody. I'm sure there's some, you know, douchebags out there, but but in general, right? Like if you're at the gym and you're, you know, maybe you're looking at like the jacked man or woman who's curling like 10 times more than you are, and you're like, that's crazy. Or like the athlete who's sprinting on the treadmill and you're like, I can't do that. And then you feel bad about yourself. But I mean, from my experience as being an extremely overweight person in a gym, the people that I would have, you know, I had a lot of people look at me when I was in the gym a lot, especially like Anytime Fitness when it was crowded in the mornings. And 100% of the people that came over to talk to me or were looking at me eventually like talk to you or Glenn or somebody and we're like, man, good for him. That's awesome. Or like, I should work harder. And like, so, you know, if you're in the gym and you're doing it, number one, you're probably in a mindset where you're doing something good for yourself, and that's going to be putting you in less of a position where you're going to be thinking and in the mindset to put down others to begin with, even in your thoughts and judgments. And number two, so everybody in there is less likely to put you down. And then number two, if somebody is looking at you, it's probably out of admiration in some respect, and you might not feel comfortable with that. I did not feel comfortable with that, but you know, it's some sort of it's more than likely they're looking at you because they're admiring the effort that you're putting in. Yeah.
Remember, and I say this to people all the time, that the hardest part, because our gym is in the basement, we got to go below street level.
Yeah.
What did Meg say? Meg says most times they are in their own thoughts and don't even know you're in the line of sight. Exactly. Or they're trying to catch their breath and they're not even looking at you. They can't see shit. They're just trying to breathe. But so our gym is off a street level. It's down below. And people come in, you know, that, oh, I'm sorry, I just don't have that energy today. I'm going to do the best I can. You know, whatever the conversation is, I always catch them. I say, listen, you did the hardest part. You came down the steps and made the choice to get time out of your day, to put energy into this. You got changed. You put clothes on specifically. You came here. You made the commitment and actually took action on that commitment and came down the steps. You did the hardest part. All you got to do is keep going. Because once you do, you've joined like a brotherhood. You've joined a club. You've joined a group of people that are like-minded in just that focus and that intention. That they're not coming there to check out people and judge them. They're coming there for themselves. And folks, if you find yourself thinking, no, not at my gym, people are judging people all the time, you need to find a better gym. If you're at a gym and you see people checking people out and judging them and busting their balls or making fun of somebody, you call them out, you punch them in the face, and you quit the gym. Seriously, you need to find a space that's supportive, because if there is places out there, and I know I'm not an idiot, I'm not blind to the realities, I'm sure there are judging people out there. If you're in a space where people are not making you feel welcome, you need to find a better space. And that's a choice, right? And that recognize that, like I do have that rational fear, because every time I'm here, I hear that dude over there snickering and staring at me. Well, go talk to him. Go talk to him. Say, hey, I do everything I can to get my ass in here. Last thing I need is you judging. So keep it to yourself, right? You got to face your life, folks. Step up to the plate. Amen. The other side, right? Find it. The other side is the fear of your own successes. What if I can't do this? What if I can't be successful? What if it's too hard? What if I can't lose the weight? What if I can't put the bar up? Those are real, right? What if I fail?
They are. I think that, there's also that many times, and I don't know who the actual saying comes from, but our greatest fear is not that we're incapable, it's that we're more capable than we ever could have dreamed. People don't want to, when you have dreams and daydreams and hopes and whatever of the big things that you really want to accomplish, the main reason why people don't go out and do them, why somebody that would want to lose weight isn't, you're not, it's sometimes it feels like you're afraid that you're not capable of it. And it looks like that, and it feels like that. But what you're afraid of in a lot of aspects is that you are capable. What is your life going to look like when that change happens is scary, right? That is super, super, super scary. I, right now, have a lot of there are a lot of things that I would love to do in my life, and the functional things around those things are things that I'm afraid of. I want to create stuff, make TV shows and whatever, so to do that, I'm afraid, I'm a little bit afraid to be in a situation where my life looks like I have to get on a plane and go to Los Angeles and then go to, San Francisco for some reason, or go to wherever, Nashville, anywhere, that I would have to go do that. That's my thing. And that's the struggle of that, or balancing bigger budgets than I'm used to. Whatever those things are the things that are intimidating, because you get, and yes, you think oh, I'm not capable of that. But in reality, it's yeah, you are very capable of that, but you're afraid to do the things that you're capable of, because you know that you're capable of them, and you know that they're not easy, and that they're different from what you're currently doing. Everyone listening to this is capable of doing 99% of the I mean, some of you might want to fly. I don't know the logistics on that, but but if you wanted to start a business, you can do that no matter what it is. You can figure out a way to get funding, to get loans, to make micro progress until you're ready to do something bigger. If you want to run a 5K, if you want to run a marathon, if you want to run a marathon, you're probably not as afraid that you can't do it as you are afraid to put in the commitment to put your shoes on and go for a run every morning and suck at running for the first bit, and Like that's the intimidating part. That's what we're afraid of. I think that we're afraid of of the hard work that comes with the stuff that we're capable of doing.
Oh, you're talking about the comfort stuff like we did last week, basically. That's the next level of this, right? That it requires me to do more. And you're afraid of success. A lot of people are afraid of success because of that, because of the pressure. Puts them in the limelight.
Because
expectations.
you could do it.
Yeah.
But it's a lot of stuff. It's a lot of stuff. It's a lot more stuff than just sitting at home and telling your friend or your partner, like, right. I could do that. And some people, sometimes you have dreams that you can't do, like sometimes you're like a 5'2" person and you're like, I want to be in the NBA. And like, that's probably not going to happen. You're 38 years old. You haven't picked up a basketball in 10 years. Like your dreams of being an NBA All-Star probably are gone, but you could tear it up at a YMCA league. you can get together with some friends and do it, and find different ways to figure that stuff out. But and then it's easy to say, like, if I can't run a marathon, like if I don't think I can run a marathon, then why am I getting up to go for a jog in the morning?
Well, because the journey is the destination. Whether you get there or not, the whole point is how you lived. Right? Like if you get to the NBA, like if you don't think like you and me right now, we're going to go try out for the NBA. You're not going to get to tryouts. Like you're going to have to practice. You're going to have to go play a lot of ball. You're going to have to work out like an animal for the next couple of years to get in ridiculous shape to get to that point where you could actually try out to play in the NBA. And then having gone through all of that, you would be a whole different person and a ridiculous ball player. And it wouldn't matter if you actually got to where you wanted to, because everything that you learned along the way would be part of the experience and you'd be a totally different person. And you may find that you don't really want to play ball professionally like that, but you got to try. You can only fail if you don't try. It's a guarantee. It's a guarantee. Everything else is an option because you never know. There are countries in this world that put together basketball teams for the Olympics that you and I could beat together, Ben. There's legitimate teams in this world. You could go play basketball anywhere in the world. There is a possibility. The world exists in gray. There is no black and white. The only black and white is death. That's it. Can't change it. And the question is, how are you going to look back on it when you're sitting there? When you come to the end of your life, when you're on death's door, are you going to be knocking and going, wow, that sucked. I should have tried a little bit more. Or are you going, yo, let me in. I'm done. I did my best.
Also, your question from last week is very important. Like, what's the worst that could happen if you tried with your fears? Like, what's the worst? Now, yeah, like if you're like the guy that wanted to in the 70s walk a tightrope between the two buildings of the World Trade Center, you should maybe have some fear around that. But like, if you want to like get in better shape to play with your kids, like you don't have to be so afraid of like going to the gym.
Yeah.
Most of us don't have crazy ambitions to tightrope walk between two skyscrapers. Most of us don't have crazy ambitions like that. Most of us have ambitions of like, I'd really like to feel better every day, and you don't have to be scared about getting to there.
Here's the cool part, though, and if you can wrap your head around the concept of what we're doing here and talking about, it's all it is our actual conception of the thought right? It's our, there's a Will Smith story that he tells about going skydiving. And if you haven't listened to it, you need to look it up on YouTube because it's worth watching and listening to. And basically, to sum it up, he talks about going skydiving and how he was so deathly afraid of going skydiving. And every time he thought about it and planning it and like committing to it, and then the anticipation of, and the whole night before being so full of fear. And then when the actual moment came for him to step off the plane and to skydive, he wasn't afraid. And once he was actually skydiving, he realized that it was an irrational fear because it was absolutely amazing and it was safe and he loved it. And he became aware of the fact that his fear was based on not doing it and not having that experience. And his mind was telling him he should be afraid. And he made that choice to be afraid. The beautiful thing about our minds are that they amendable. They grow. You evolve as a human being. What you continuously do is who you are. So if you continuously teach your brain to be afraid of things that are the unknown, you will always be afraid of the unknown. But they've shown, and they've done brain scans and CAT scans of people that face high stress environments. And they figured out that people can temper themselves just like you would, everybody's done this. We go to the ocean and you first put your feet in it and it's cold or it's shocking or it's colder than you think. And then you walk in a little bit and it's not as cold, but it's still a little cold because that part of your body has gotten a little bit colder and that's wet now, but then you adjust to it. You walk in a little bit further. It's the same thing. You can either jump in or you can walk in, but your body's going to adjust. Your brain is going to adjust. Those people that do things on a regular basis that would freak you and me the fuck out, they're just so used to doing it that they don't have that fear. It just doesn't exist anymore. They've become almost immune to it, that level of stress and that level of fear doesn't trigger them. It's like you need enough current to turn on a light. There's just not enough current running that they're at that point. They're not afraid of it. Like, you ever watch did we talk about this? The guy that free climbed El Capitan?
No.
He's a rock climber. And this was a couple of years ago. I finally watched it. It was on National Geographic. It's on Disney Plus right now. This guy literally free climbs El Capitan. And for those that don't know, that is the epitome of rock climbing in the world. And it is a massive granite rock wall. And he's literally clinging on by his fingertips. They went and did CAT scans of his brain to figure out what was going on, why he did all this free climbing. Because he's easily accepted as one of the world's greatest, historically speaking, rock climbers. And they wanted to know why he wasn't afraid of this stuff. Because the people that climb with him, and when you talk to him, he's just a very relaxed, casual kind of guy. And he doesn't really stress about the climbs.
Ew.
And they did.
I don't like any of this.
They did a CAT scan on his brain, and this specific part of his brain that is supposed to fire off when you get stressed or when it's a stressful situation just doesn't light up for him under normal things, things that make you and I a little it just didn't light him up because he's gotten so used to those things. He's been climbing these things for years, and he's not afraid of failing. He's afraid of not trying.
No, thank you. No, thank you.
Well, look, I'm not going to get you to rock climb, but I'm going to get you to penguin plunge at some point, dude. But I will promise you this.
Here's what I have to say about that.
For those that are listening, he just shut his camera off. Here's what I can promise you, though. If you do it once with me and you still feel like you don't want to do that and you can't do it and you're still afraid of it, I won't ever guilt you into doing it again. But for now, I've got a live studio audience and live audience online streaming here that are going to watch and listen. And we're going to pick a really good charity this year to do our polar plunge for. So my mom asked, do you think him not having that fear trigger is partly within his nature? So yes, specifically related to individuals. It's a subjective answer, subjective response to that. So everybody is different. Some people have a lot more fear naturally. Some people have a lot less fear naturally. I believe in the capacity and the possibility of nature nurture impacting our systems, meaning you were born a certain way. You were hereditarily given certain traits, genes, by the traits given to you by your parents, by your great-grandparents' parents. As the lineage continues, the who you are is specifically related to who you came from. However, you have an impact on that. So can we change our physiology? Maybe. They've proven that you can, actually. You can regrow hair. You can learn a new language. You can learn new skills. People have trained themselves professionally in the military for years to withstand high extreme temperatures, extreme sleep deprivation, and extreme stress situations. So do I think that it's possible to bypass the way that you were built, the way that God made you, the way that your parents made you? Yeah, we've proven it can. Now, does that change the fact that we are naturally built that way? That you came to being having a low threshold for stress? Who you are is nurtured by who you are can become. Yes. So that's what I mean. So she says, who you are is nurtured by who you become. And that's the whole point, right? Like, so what you choose to do every day, how you respond to that fear, how you choose to either embrace the opportunities presented to you or back up and run from them, will then create new neuropaths in your brain. Literally, you're reprogramming your brain every day. If every time something new is placed in front of you to try and eat, if you look at it and you say, no way, I'm not going to like that, well, then you're probably right. But if you look at it and you say, wow, that's something I've never tried, I wonder how it will taste, then you have the potential and the opportunity to create a new neuropath in your system where you learn that you like avocados or you like chia seeds or whatever it is new that you haven't tried before. So do I believe that this is an opportunity for everybody every single day to change who they are and how they live? Yes. Especially if what we're talking about is related to holding you back. If your fear is keeping you from achieving what you deserve, what you can achieve, what you actually have as an opportunity and a potentiality in you, who you can be in this world, then yeah, you are choosing poorly because you're choosing to let your fear decide who you are and who you will become. Don't let the fear win. Face everything and rise. Unless it's a tiger, in which case, don't. Although I don't know how to fight a tiger. Can't run from them, that's for damn sure. So that's not the choice. Folks, that's it for today. I appreciate you. Whether you're listening live or you're tuning in at some later date, we're available on all kinds of social media. If you have any questions related to your health and fitness, or you just want to touch base and have some one-on-one time, whether it's personal training, coaching, nutrition, whatever your needs are, I'm here for you. ThriveTrainingTeam.com is the website. All the social media links are on there, and my email. As always, if you have an opportunity and you want to be part of the podcast, or you have questions you want answered on the podcast, or topics you would like us to discuss, please reach out and shoot us a message. I appreciate you folks. I love having this opportunity to be part of your life. Thank you and have a great and healthy day. We'll see you soon.
For more information, tips, and workouts of the day, check out thrivetrainingteam.com.